Hi, my name is Gabriel Aguado, freelance gaffer and videographer. These are a couple of clips from a scene recreation of the Emperor's throne room scenes in Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I'm going to compare my lighting in these clips to the original clips from the film that I was trying to emulate. This was another very tight production. We had a crew of only 5 people, including 3 actors, so I was simultaneously performing the duties of director, cinematographer, equipment manager, and gaffer. It was a 3-day shoot, with the 3rd day being just for pickup shots that didn't require the actors. Due to time constraints, I changed the characters to modern-day gang members and changed the setting to an abandoned house, sort of like Star Wars meets The Warriors. The first 2 shots I was trying to emulate are these shots here that offer the first glimpse of Emperor Palpatine. You can observe that their lighting setup for these 2 shots appears fairly similar. There was something lighting his body from over his left shoulder, there was some light hitting the edges of his throne from either side, there was some light on top of his chair and on top of his hood, and there was a small amount of light hitting his face, likely coming from front left of where he is, based on the shadow of his hood on his face. I believe the light hitting the floor and sides of the set is coming through the window due to the shadow it creates. This is what I think their lighting setup looked like. The light creating the blue pattern on the floor is likely the same light highlighting the top of the throne, but for the top of his hood, there's an additional light hidden in the throne itself. As you can see, when the throne turns, the lighting on top of his head never moves. Here is my version of the wide shot. I used some artistic license because we had limited equipment.
The Emperor? Welcome, young Skywalker. I've been expecting you.
I used 1K and 650 Fresnels as cross keys for the backs of Luke and Vader, along with a reflector to add some fill to Luke so he appeared brighter. I used a 500-watt open face on Palpatine because I wanted him to be nearly invisible until the chair is turned around and he lifts his head. In that way, the ratio of lighting on Palpatine to the actors in the foreground is very low. I used a 300-watt on the background just to have a little separation in the shadowed part of Palpatine's face. Because we had to do shots of Palpatine early in the day, I chose to black out the windows behind him to block the sunlight. Looking back, I would have scheduled the shoot differently so we could utilize the natural light like the window in the movie. And here is my close-up. I think it looks pretty close to the movie, however I chose to add a light over his right shoulder to get some separation from the background. In order to create the shadowy, evil look of the face without the advantage of makeup, I chose to use a bounce card where a light likely would have been in the original shoot. Here's another close-up we did. I was trying to get close to these 2 shots of Palpatine here. As I was making this video, I noticed the color timing in these 2 shots is totally off. In general, the way Palpatine looks in this scene is not consistent at all. You can see the difference in color timing here again in these 2 shots. I know that there's a healthy debate over the different versions of the original Star Wars films. But the fact that there are such glaring errors in the 2011 Fox Blu-ray release, literally minutes apart from each other, completely boggles my mind. Even an amateur like myself could have simply copied and pasted the color timing from one clip to the next, but apparently no one at Fox bothered to watch the movie before distributing it. I kept position of Palpatine's background light and key, but I switched the 1K Fresnel to a 650 so the rim lighting on his face would stand out more. I then used a 1K with diffusion to light the top of his head to match the lighting ratio of the 650, and a 1K with the snoot as the rim light to highlight the appearance of the hand in the phone and enhance the actor's performance.
Your rebels are no more.
I wanted to do something similar to this scene, with Darth Vader crossing in front of the frame and swinging at Luke. I simplified it by having the actor playing Darth Vader start already in front of the camera, and for safety reasons, swing only very lightly at Luke. The actor playing Luke then sold the performance by spinning quickly and moving the stick to give the appearance that it was being forced back. I kept my Darth Vader in darkness so he would appear large and imposing, as if he was blocking the light. I then lit Luke so the side of his body closest to Vader would appear to be falling to the dark side, with the other part of him trying to stay in the light, with a 1K Fresnel mounted on a lowboy stand and pointing up at him.